Good morning, I'm Katie Cook. Today is Sunday, June the 14th. For more than 80 years, a statue of Confederate President Jefferson Davis stood inside the Kentucky Capitol Rotunda, but that is no longer the case. Crews wasted no time getting him out of there after a state commission voted Friday afternoon to remove the statue. Since then, crews have been working, and by late yesterday afternoon, Davis was gone. The statue will be moved to a state historic site in western Kentucky, marking his birthplace. Olivia Russell has more from the Capitol.
More than a week after Governor Andy Beshear called for the Jefferson Davis statue to be removed, he finally pressed the button to make it happen. The statue, standing 15 feet tall and about 10,500 pounds, was slowly taken from the Capitol Rotunda. When the body portion was removed, the hollow base surprisingly acted as a time capsule and revealed some history. Crews removed two items. The first was the cover of the State Journal from the day the statue was placed on October 20th, 1936. They also found a bottle of Glenmore bourbon with a message inside. After taking a closer look, officials determined it was too old and fragile to remove the paper in one piece. They hope a special process will one day reveal the message. Preserving the history of Jefferson Davis is the reason why some Kentuckians were against removing the statue, but officials are reminding people that it's not being destroyed, only moved. Crews from American Industrial Contractors spent hours securing the statue so it wasn't damaged in the process. They say it will go from the Capitol to a storage facility while they wait and make sure the next site can support the massive structure. The state hopes to return the Confederate president back to his hometown of Fairview, Kentucky, at the Jefferson Davis Historical Site. Reporting from the Capitol, Olivia Russell, WKYT.
Now, this isn't the first time removing the statue has been up for discussion. Exactly 5 years ago, the same commission voted on possibly removing the statue, but ultimately it ended with the decision to remove the bronze plaque in the front. And yesterday, parents brought their children to join the protest against systemic racism. The event is called Chalk Their Name. It was to honor the people who have been victims to police brutality. One mother we spoke to says kids need to understand what's happening because they're going to fight the same battle later.
Sadly, we are going to pass down a legacy of systemic racism in our country. And if we don't name that now and acknowledge and then start to really deal with that in a real way, our kids are going to have to fight this fight just like we are, just like the Black community has been for 400 years.
This was in Jeffersonville near the Big Four Bridge. Other groups gathered in New Albany at Bicentennial Park. Now let's check in with meteorologist Brooke Marshall for a look at your forecast this morning. Brooke, good morning to you. It's a beautiful morning this morning, but I know we have to look out for those rain chances a little bit later.
You are exactly right, Katie. We are going to be seeing some rain chances later. Some of our areas already seeing that today, but here in Hazard, if you look out at our WYMT studio camera, still looking on that drier side, but you can already start to see those clouds starting to come in. So we're already starting to see some mostly cloudy skies here, looking a little bit darker than it was yesterday morning, but overall still feeling pretty similar temperature wise, but we do see some of these rain chances in other areas. So if you're looking at our satellite and radar, you can see over the past hour or so we have just been seeing just a few of these stray pop-ups throughout the region. So you could run into a stray shower or two this morning, but other than that, I mean, you're also going to see breaks within this as well. It's not going to be a complete washout. I mean, looking at Doppler radar, you can see there's definitely some breaks in the rain here. You can see a nice mix of sun and clouds with that, but overall today we are going to be staying on that cooler side, and so temperature is going to actually be feeling very comfortable as we head throughout the day. I mean, we're already seeing temperatures in those upper 50s to lower 60s this morning, and we're only going to be getting into those 70s for daytime highs, so it's actually going to be a little bit cooler. We're just going to have to kind of keep an eye out and have that rain gear with us in case we run into one of those scattered showers. Katie?
All right, thank you, Brooke. Governor Andy Beshear did not hold a coronavirus briefing yesterday, but did provide updated numbers. Governor Beshear announced 315 new cases. That brings the statewide case count to 12,445. And there were 2 new deaths in Kentucky Saturday, and now the death toll sits at 499. 3,409 Kentuckians have recovered from the virus. The Harlan County Health Department also confirmed 2 new cases. The total number of cases in the county now stands at 13. Health officials with the Pike County Health Department confirmed 3 cases on Saturday as well, bringing the total number of cases for Pike County to 50. We also learned just last night of 9 new cases in the Kentucky River District, 5 in Perry County and 4 in Letcher County. That brings the totals there to 28 in Perry County and 8 in Letcher County. Health officials said multiple cases are linked to the Trinity Holiness Tabernacle Church in Perry County. If you attended this church from May 24th to June 7th, you could have been exposed to COVID-19 and should monitor for symptoms. Now, for more information on COVID-19 in Eastern Kentucky, you can head over to our website, WYMT.com. Officials with Kentucky State Police said they received a call around 7 a.m. Friday about a person lying in the roadway of Bobcat Boulevard and Betsy Lane. The caller believed the man had been assaulted. The victim was taken to the Pikeville Medical Center and remains in critical condition. Troopers and detectives with Post 9 have conducted interviews and searched for evidence. They say they have several leads, but no arrests have been made yet. KSP encourages anyone with information to call them at 606-433-7711. And Hazard Health and Rehabilitation Center built something special for its families and residents. The nursing home built a visitation booth, which allows families to visit their loved ones. Families can visit by speaking with each other through plexiglass. This new booth helps decrease the spread of COVID-19 by blocking germs from reaching either side. Families are encouraged to wear masks as an added precaution, and we spoke with Jim Riley, who says this finally gives him the option to see his mom outside.
Just to see them roll her out here and we have this new form of meeting and coming together, it just brings joy to my heart. Something about seeing her and her seeing me and noting her response to seeing her son, it's just, it's wonderful.
If you have a loved one at the nursing home and would like to use the visitation booth, you are asked to call 606-216-4392 to schedule an appointment. Prestonsburg wrapped up its Black Lives Matter demonstration around 11 o'clock last night. The city's stage area was crowded as people came to hear and be heard. WYMT's Buddy Forbes was there as the chanting hit the pavement.
More than 150 people raising their voices.
No lives matter till Black Lives Matter! No lives matter till Black Lives Matter!
As one.
What began as protests is much more than that now. It really is a movement. People are rising up.
People of all ages filled the Prestonsburg stage area Saturday night for a Black Lives Matter demonstration.
I'm so grateful for the young people that are not people of color, that have taken the initiative to step forward.
Blanche Hood has lived in Floyd County for 30 years and is glad to see her community standing behind her.
Not that so much of the violence or police brutality is taking place in Floyd County, but that what's happening in the world and to humanity means something to the people in Floyd County.
People like China Hibbets, a law student from Floyd County who spoke at the demonstration.
And it doesn't take that much to be a good person.
And brought her daughter to see the movement.
The fact that she's aware of what's going on and knowing that she has the ability and the other children of the community have the ability to change that moving forward.
Working on educating the next generation.
And you know, my goal wasn't to change people's minds, it's just to open people's eyes.
One step at a time. In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
While most of the people involved were supportive of the message, one man dropped in after the event to voice his concern. He says he is a conservative who feels like his voice and others like his are being pushed to the back.
Of course we know that all lives matter, Black lives matter. But I mean, it's getting to the point to where this country's being choked by political correctness.
After the event, organizers thanked the city's police department for offering a helping hand to keep them safe during the march. One Eastern Kentucky man is finding a different way to support Black Lives Matter. Nathan Little, owner of Queen City Streams, created an online tournament benefiting Black Lives Matter and Breonna Taylor's family, with people in at least 3 different countries participating. He has around 96 people competing, and so far the GoFundMe page for the tournament has raised more than $1,300. Little
I mean, it's on the forefront of everyone's minds right now. Everybody's talking about it. They want to see stuff happen. They want to see change, and this is an opportunity to do something instead of getting on Facebook and running your mouth and getting everybody mad. This is an opportunity to do something that a bunch of people love to do and make a little money for people that need it.
The winner of the tournament gets a custom Black Lives Matter controller, and 100% of the proceeds raised from the tournament goes to Breonna Taylor's family and the Black Lives Matter movement. Medical centers across the country are seeing historic numbers of patients in 2020, but in some rural areas, hospitals are struggling to keep their doors open. Our Washington Bureau's Peter Zampa reports Tennessee medical leaders don't have the finances to survive.
We live rural because we love rural.
Nick Lewis is the CEO at the Hardin Medical Center in Savannah, Tennessee, an actual lifesaver for those who live in the surrounding rural area. But Lewis says these hospitals are not being paid like it.
They're putting us in a worse position.
Lewis says many rural hospitals are closing in Tennessee, in part because they're not being properly reimbursed by the federal government for providing Medicare or Medicaid services. He says they're getting cents on the dollar, meaning they cannot pay sufficient wages or keep operations running.
We're going to continue to see those hospitals drop.
Lewis says a change to what is called the Area Wage Index could help stop these closures. The index guides the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services to reimburse hospitals based on average wages in the region. Senator Marsha Blackburn is pushing bipartisan legislation in Congress that would lead to a national minimum for reimbursement.
Urban areas get more and the rural areas get less. So this wage index fix is to bring that into parity.
But if more money is going to these rural hospitals, that inevitably means diverting funds from these urban areas, according to healthcare revenue expert John Bessler.
Unless you're changing the overall pool or increasing the overall pool, unfortunately, the wage index does create winners and losers.
Bessler's company advises healthcare providers on how they can maximize revenue. Bessler believes unless there's an overhaul to the system, some hospitals will always get the short end of the stick.
For the providers in depressed economic areas, it absolutely would not work for them.
It's going to deteriorate further.
In Washington, I'm Peter Zampa.
Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a 95-year-old veteran in Ghana is doing his part to support frontline workers during the ongoing pandemic and drawing international recognition.
And if you've been outside watering those plants daily, well, it looks like you might get the day off. I'll have your full forecast coming up.